These characters have genuinely touched my heart.
You've infected me.
Welcome. Your fate has been sealed.
What did I just witness?
You witnessed My Little Pony again.
Why do you do this to me?
'Cause it's a good show.
For 12-year-old girls.
For adults as well.
Okay, legally you're an adult. I get it. The episodes
Yes.
that
several.
we watched, not just one, I got to be tortured. I got to witness. Was forced to watch
4 episodes.
4 episodes of Your Little Pony. The first one was from season 1. Mm-hmm. Was this the introduction of...
Fluttershy.
Oh, okay. So she's got a character arc. In the first episode, she's very shy and scared of everything.
She's just, like, in every single situation, barely getting through because she's terrified of literally everything. She's so scared, in fact, that she went limp like a goat when they get scared and they just fall over.
That was funny. But they were basically doing the pony version of the hobbits going up the mountain to see Smaug.
They're just not going after gold.
They're going after friendship.
No, they're trying to not have their entire continent covered in smoke and having bad health issues, so.
And apparently to solve a ecological disaster, we've got to stop a snoring dragon from snoring and convince him to...
Move. Take his nap
So
somewhere
you're
else.
forcibly relocating a dragon.
So that everyone else doesn't have to relocate, yes. One of the funniest parts was when they were jumping over this...
Into a crevasse that
Yeah.
looks like death.
Yeah, it looks like absolute death, but then it's only wide enough for her to, like, get her front part of her and her back part of her on each side, so it wasn't even that big of a jump.
That was clever because
Yeah.
they never showed both sides at the same time. And so you thought as a viewer that it would be a bigger leap of
Yeah.
faith or courage, and
Yeah.
it wound up being like 2 feet. And that's clever.
Yeah.
I will have to give it that. I guess I also liked it that it was a whole bunch of different ponies, and they're different characters, they have
Yeah.
different strengths, and so they were playing off of each other with their differences,
Yeah.
which is nice to see because there's a lot of homogenized characters where everybody's got the same attributes. Usually it's
Yeah.
we're all
Yeah.
snarkily sarcastic. Mm-hmm. And I really don't like that.
The next episode after
No,
that...
wait.
Oh, you're still talking about it?
So Fluttershy somehow convinces the dragon to move, but only because her friends are threatened.
Her friends got hurt, and immediately she just took up the mantle of, I'm going to move this dragon, essentially.
And that was her trigger point, because up until that point, she was a very different character, completely a different character.
Yeah.
So in that, she earned a character trait that we now kind of put in our minds when the next time we see her.
Yeah. Although they took that to the extreme in later seasons. They kind of turned her into a Hulk.
All right, let's not talk about that. Let's talk about when it was used well. So
Yes.
that was the introduction of Fluttershy's character trait building, I guess. And then
I was trying to set you up for the next one.
And then we got into what we could call the Discord trilogy. Discord is a character that is not a pony. Mm-hmm. He's an amalgam of a whole bunch of different animal parts.
He's a Draconequus.
What?
It's an actual mythological creature. It's called a Draconequus.
You're just making words up now at this point.
Look it up. It's a Draconequus. If I said it multiple times, it's got to be real.
Look it up. Mm-hmm. People make up words, just put it on the internet, and they're just like, well, it's on the internet. And it's like, that's not a thing.
It's an ancient mythological creature. I think it's Aztec, but I'm not sure.
Anyway, the character is voiced by John Delancey, who played Q in Star Trek The Next Generation. Honestly, I enjoyed the playfulness of the animators with that character.
Yes, I love it too. They just have so much fun. Like when he was like tipping over the house. That is an interesting thing to look at while they're just having regular dialogue. It's great.
Yeah, so it kind of changed up the show a bit because it's ponies and girls and friendship and oh my gosh.
Even he made a joke about that. It's like, ooh, gag.
And that's kind of what it needed. You need a foil to all of this
girly stuff.
Girly, happy, pleasant, let's have a party about everything kind of stuff. You just need a good bad guy because then everybody's character has to bounce off of that.
Yeah.
And then because they're under pressure, their characters shine through a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
No, I do like the random stupid stuff that they have in the background.
Yeah.
Like ballerina dudes that are just like going by.
Yeah, those are buffalo.
Oh, those are buffalo?
Those are buffalo.
Right. And then they turn these rabbits into these like stilt walking limb things. It
Yeah.
kind of reminded me of the Dark Crystal in a weird way.
Oh, yeah. Those creatures, those were cool.
Yeah.
That's why Discord is my absolute favorite. Specifically that scene where he's getting his glass of chocolate milk. You're expecting him to drink it. When he fills up the chocolate milk, it fills from the top. When he drinks it, he drinks the glass, and all that's left is a solid chocolate milk. He tosses it, and it becomes a grenade. Like it blows up.
It's just random. It was all gag stuff. It felt like a bit like Looney Tunes. It's just crazy energy, and the animators got to let loose, which was kind of fun. I
Yeah.
do have to say. It doesn't mean I liked it. But I liked his character. But that kind of stuff is kind of freeing for an animator. It's clever. You can just be goofy.
Yeah.
But they did have a couple fun references. So, yes, there was the Hobbit going up the mountain thing.
Yeah.
Definitely a Smaug thing.
Yep. There was Star Wars.
They had the Star Wars throne room scene, which
Yes.
I was appreciating. They also had what could be construed as the A-Team montage. Mm-hmm. So each of the ponies had to gear up.
Yeah. Before going up the mountain.
You know, you could almost hear the da-da-da,
Da,
da-da-da.
da, da.
Yeah. So I can dig it. So you can kind of tell the experience of the animators. So
Yep.
I did appreciate that.
Yes.
But I could definitely tell it was very different than the other My Little Pony shows that you've foisted upon me. These ones actually seem like they really came together. Like this would be like in the best of that series.
Yeah. Animation-wise, yeah.
Again, not saying that I liked it. I have to admit it wasn't as bad as I thought. Please don't give me ones that stink to watch. You know,
I'll try not to. I'll show you the ones that I actually
because
like.
it will turn into
Torture.
Yeah, I mean, I may confess to war crimes or something like that if you do this to me. Okay, I did it.
Fine. Anything but
I didn't do the laundry, and I tore the tag off the pillow, and I haven't emptied the garbage from the bathroom in like 2 weeks.
Yeah, I think I introduced that show the wrong way.
You think?
His first experience of the show was admittedly one of the worst written episodes.
I think you were just trying to put my tolerance level up. Maybe it was like a 4D chess thing where you were like, I'll make him watch this terrible episode, then you'll see something else that normally you would have been like, meh. You'll be like, oh, this is not bad. Because, like, the bar's been lowered or something.
Ah, yes. You know me for my 4D chess thinking. But at least you like Discord, because Fluttershy and Discord are my absolute favorite characters. Whether or not you ship them or you don't ship them, I absolutely love these characters so much.
You're shipping them somewhere? Like packing and shipping?
Oh dear, you don't know what shipping is.
Oh no, here comes another lesson.
Shipping is when, in your head, imagine these characters being together in a relationship.
Is it too much effort to say the words relationship?
It's just easier to say, I ship them, instead of, I have this imaginary situation in my head in which they are in a relationship.
All right, so no pony has a relationship because they're all...
You said it.
Said what?
No pony.
That we're talking about ponies.
That's pony lingo.
You've infected me.
Welcome. You're one of us now. Get back here!
Look, admittedly, it's late and I'm weak. I was.
It's a little late by now.
Yeah. All right, so Princess Hairdo comes out and she's wafting in the air with her rainbow flowy magnificence, and she decides in her great wisdom that in the last episode
That we watched
today, that it would be a really great idea to let Discord out after we've contained him because he
wasn't as much of a threat now. They have the elements of harmony already ready. They don't have to go
please
get
explain
them.
to our audience what the elements of harmony are.
I already technically did this in the last episode, but I'll do it again. Each of the characters, the main characters, have an element associated with them. Fluttershy's, for example, since we watched so much of hers is kindness. In the two-parter episode, you saw each of those elements of harmony used against them and changed them to be the opposite of that.
Right. They're all a bunch of selfish jerks.
Yes.
Now, what I thought was interesting was that There was a statue of him because he was turned to stone, and there were a bunch of bratty little kids fighting with each other, being selfish,
Yeah, and causing chaos amongst themselves.
And because they were engaged in divisive behavior, their, for lack of a better term, sin, wound up kind of reawakening this spirit of
chaos
and discord.
Yeah.
And there is something profound to that. If that behavior is encouraged or left unchecked, you're actually...
It can thrive.
Yeah, you're kindling the fire for something that's destructive.
Yeah.
And there is actually something to that. So I will give the storytellers a little bit of cred.
The last episode is where, again, like he said, Celestia, in her great wisdom, said, yeah, you need to reform this guy. And they were like, what? And she's like, you need Fluttershy specifically for that. And they were like, what?
Now tell me why you like Fluttershy so much.
I like Fluttershy so much because she is sweet, she is humble, she is thoughtful, and she doesn't mind if they kind of step on her hooves a bit. Because she just cares too much. And a lot of people say that she was a pushover for far too long in the show. I completely disagree. She, in my heart, is, well, the element of kindness. She's just pure sweetness and humbleness in one character. I kind of aspire to be like her in a weird way.
Well, it reminded me a little bit of Kaylee from Firefly.
Yeah! That's why I love her too! That's why both are close to my heart. I love those guys. I don't know. Makes me so happy.
We do need more characters like that. If you have someone who's just kind and sweet, then the people who are genuinely sarcastic and snarky, they just realize that maybe it's not cool to do that all the time. Maybe, I should be more loving. Maybe connect with people instead of just distancing by being super witty and sarcastic.
That was part of the power of that last episode that you saw. Fluttershy just used her element, which was just being kind. Just allowing him to feel comfortable being himself and to be her friend.
Yeah, and Discord realized that he never really had a friend, a single friend. And the reason he changed wasn't because she persuaded him, it's because he realized that if he actually had a true, genuine friend, he would never want to mess that person over.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't have friends. It reminded me of it's from the movie Tombstone. Has nothing to do with ponies. Well, there are
We
horses.
went from ponies to this.
There are horses. Yeah? Well, I got lots of friends. Val Kilmer's character says, well, I don't. And it was just like, aw. So, that it matters.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like what you would do in a true relationship, whether it's a spiritual one or whether with another person. It's that you would not love them, help them, and serve them because you're trying to gain their favor or win them over or correct them. You're doing it because you're in a relationship with them. You would want to, for lack of a better term, please them, not because you have a list of do's and don'ts to kind of win them over, gain their favor, or make yourself justified in their sight, but you're invested in that relationship, and that's why you do what you do.
Yeah.
And that's actually an important lesson.
I really liked the fact that they, in my personal opinion, artistically closed in on the skates.
Okay, explain the skates.
In the scene, he offered her to go skating with him to, as he put it, let bygones be bygones, that she would give up using her element of harmony against him to still remain his friend. And she took them, and he immediately spouted off about how, he's so free, and you can't tell me what to do, and all of this stuff, and she immediately said, I'm not your friend. And she just walked away. And he was just like, I don't care, all that stuff. And then he just realized, but that was my only friend I've ever had. And he looked back at the skates that she threw, and that hit him. I love that they closed in on the skates like that, because that was a symbol of that friendship possibly ending. And it was, it was, in my opinion, beautiful. But yeah, there's a reason why I like these characters. They actually do hit me in a way that is hard to explain, because again, admittedly, it is a show about ponies. The target demographic was 12-year-old girls, but these characters have genuinely touched my heart, and they've affected me in ways that I can't really explain.
And they've inspired you to make your own stories with your own characters.
Yeah, in fact, I never would have started my art journey if it hadn't been for that show.
Wow. Well, and that's a good positive impact. It's these artists who made this inspired you, and now you've got your own creation and you want to use that to inspire others. I think that's really beautiful. So, yeah, I dig it.
That's why I like that pony show.
All right. Well, thank you for listening to us gab about
My Little Pony.
Her Little Pony. And,
Friendship is magic.
Isn't it, though?
I mean, from how we talked about it, yes, it
getting all
is.
weepy
Yeah,
here.
it is.
Anyway, so if you like what we're doing here and you just enjoyed the conversation, you got something out of it, let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear from you.
Anyways, like,
Share,
and subscribe. And please just let us know if you have any suggestions as to what you want us to watch. And we'll see you next time. Bye. I'm glad you liked it.
I appreciated it more than the previous episode.
You like Discord.
I like that actor. I thought the animators had fun.
You like Discord. You can admit that you like Discord. He's a Draconequus, not a pony.
Draconequus.
I'll look it up if you don't believe me. I'll do it. We'll take a second.
How to make my dad believe a word I made up is true. How do I do this? Please, internet, help me.
Draconequus, a chimera-like species. Let's see.
I've heard of chimera.
Draconequus, Greek mythology. It's Greek. I was wrong that it was Aztec. It's Greek. The term Draconequus is a portmanteau
One of them.
of Draco, dragon, and Equus, horse.
Portmanteau?
Yes. And while not a creature from traditional Greek mythology, is a concept that appears in the show My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic.
Oh my gosh, that's the first reference.
Where Discord, a character, is described as a Draconequus. Mic drop.
Wow. You went old school literature on me, and you linked it to a show about ponies.
I mean, there's a chimera in the show. Was it a chimera? No, it was, what was it?
You just keep thinking, and I'll go.
No, get back. That's what it was. It was a manticore, okay? It was a manticore. Found out. Remembered. There we go.